Hi everyone, and welcome to Almost Cancelled. I'm Peter, and I'm not joined with Connor because Connor is moving house and doesn't have internet because he's a ginger cretin. But joining me in his stead is none other than the Professor himself, Tim Vargilish.
hmm Hello, it's a pleasure to be here. Thank you for having me.
Always a pleasure to have you here, Tim. We're going to
Really?
talk. Well, sometimes you say nice things to be nice, Tim. Don't read too much into it.
Oh, Jesus. All right.
We're going to talk about Outcast season one, episode 9, the penultimate episode before the finale. It's called
That means
Close.
second to last.
Yes.
What? Some people might not know that.
Oh, well, I trust they'll get it from context.
Oh, all right.
It's called Close to Home, and full spoilers for the episode as always. You know what? There's a key difference between you and Connor, Tim. That is, I usually rock through that intro in about 5 to 8 seconds because Connor just lets me get on with it. But you interrupt me like 3 times. I'm not complaining. I'm just was pointing out a difference.
You're welcome.
What did you think of this episode, Outcast, Tim?
Yeah, it was good. I feel like maybe what was the last one I was on? Like episode 6, maybe?
That sounds right.
Or
Yeah, yeah. When
yeah,
Kyle was
but
filling in uh,
yeah.
potholes in the road.
I feel like there was like a couple of episodes, like maybe like 5 and 6, like around that area that I was like, oh, like this is really good. Stuff's really ramping up. And then I feel like the last couple have been like they've still been good, but I feel like it's kind of reached this like plateau where it's just kind of like, you know, being like each episode is just kind of like evenly good. You get a little bit of story progression, but not like a ton of huge moments. There's definitely a big moment at the end,
Yeah, yeah. Well, obviously,
but
that's going to be the biggest talking point is the
yeah.
ending of this episode. So I said full spoilers, but I'm just going to remind you just before I say this.
Mhm.
So at the end of the episode, Megan, and I could tell what was happening. If you remember, because we've seen in the flashbacks when Sydney was possessed, there were some
Mhm.
similarities in how it was filmed in the sort of distorted vision. And I
Yeah.
was like, wait, holy shit, she's getting possessed. Oh, this is like the big thing that's going to like ramp us up for the finale.
Yeah.
What I was not expecting was for her to immediately kill Mark.
Kill. Yeah.
Like, immediately. I
Yeah.
was thinking, oh, they're not going to know and she's going to be acting weird for a while and then Kale's going to find out at some
Mhm.
point. But
Yeah. For
immediately.
yeah, and I always get like a little um like I'm not the biggest fan of people like smashing their heads in the mirror. So like when she did that first couple of like taps to the mirror with her head, I was like, oh no, she's gonna smash her head, isn't she? And then she didn't. I was like, oh okay. But then her husband comes in, and it's just like immediate like boom, and then uh pretty gruesome, like a lot of blood, and then she
Mm-hmm.
takes like that one shard and like very slowly, goes like in and out of his neck, and it was definitely a cool scene.
Do you know what that
But
was
yeah.
like? And it was very well played by her,
Mhm.
by the
Mhm.
actress, and just the way it was directed was. It was like she never stabbed flesh before. Or I mean,
Yeah,
admittedly, it's not like most of us have actually stabbed flesh, but it's like we know
Mhm.
what to expect from stabbing flesh. It was like she didn't like the thing that's possessed her didn't really
it
know
it was
what it was
it, it
like.
was yeah, it was kind of like a really small kid or an animal discovering something for the first time, where they're just kind of looking at it like,
Yeah,
oh,
yeah.
hey, that's neat.
Oh, what's all this red liquid? Oh,
Yeah.
coolio. And of course, we end with the cliffhanger that Kyle gets the call. He gets the call from his daughter that
Mhm.
Megan is acting just like her mother was when she turned. So really good cliffhanger for the finale. Like I think that's a really good
Yeah.
big moment to leave us on, and it really sets the stakes high. Mark dying, it's funny. Like I always, sometimes you can see them coming, and this one, like there was no indication that he was in any danger throughout the episode, so there was no reason
No.
to think that
Yeah.
he was, a goner at the end. But
Mhm.
in retrospect, you look at what else he did in this episode, and you kind of see a lot of reasons why they made this impactful. One, they made him kind of bury the hatchet with Kyle. They
Mhm.
felt like they had like a nice moment where they seemed to be on the same page, which they haven't really been all season.
Yeah. That's
Uh,
true.
also the fact that Megan's pregnant, which is a big story point.
Yeah.
Like, and they were talking about how it's the worst time because he's just lost his job and everything that's going on. But he talks her into it, and they get all happy about it, and it makes the
Yeah,
death
he was
even,
like, yeah, he's kind of like the positive one, the one that's kind of like rooting for it, being like, "We'll make it work. It'll be okay."
So I'm actually, because I'm expecting Megan to survive, and I'm kind of terrified now of just how fucked up she's going to be
Yeah,
when this is all over and she like learns what's happened, and I mean, because we've seen in this episode that Alison has checked herself into a mental institute, and I thought the scene with her and Kyle. In fact, up until the ending, this was my highlight of the episode. Was the scene
okay,
where they speak to each other,
yeah,
because much like a few episodes ago when they spoke to each other, there was a lot of heart in the scene, and I actually
yeah,
kind of felt the emotion, and I really got like him like wanting her to be okay, and I thought she did a really good job of the acting and like selling the sadness of this moment, and like his reaction was devastating, and it hit home even more in the next scene when he like didn't tell Megan
yeah.
where he'd found her. He was just like, "No, I've not found her yet." So no, I thought that was. I think there's a lot of this show that's actually quite heartbreaking, and I like that over the course of the season they've actually done a job of making me care about the characters.
Yeah, like all the characters are pretty likable, I would say, and um, like maybe not always in the way that they're like these outstandingly great characters, but just that you kind of get the I don't know, you feel like you're almost like living in with them, like you're kind of really getting to know them, and I don't know, I guess getting a feel for their life and stuff. So yeah, it is kind of making this stuff a little more impactful in these scenes.
Yeah, yeah. Another sweet moment as well was Kyle with his daughter and showing how good a dad he is, which we've seen hints of, in the last over the last couple of episodes when he was being with her. But I thought that whole promising not to lie was
Yeah,
because because she's kind of right. Adults do lie, like
yeah,
especially to kids, to either make them feel better or to cover up things that they can't understand yet or things like that. And I like that scene. It was really, really, again, sweet moment that made me care for Kyle in a way that I don't like. Obviously, we knew from the first episode when everyone else thought it was just a complete wife beater and child beater. We
yeah,
knew there was more to it than that, and we got a sense of there was reasons why he did that under not in normal life there wouldn't be, but because we know it's about possession and demons and all that,
yeah,
there's more to it than that. And I feel like the show's done a really good job since then with him and his wife, him and his daughter, of making us care and making us actually not only know that he's not actually such a bad guy, but actually he's actually. I mean, even Alison even says he's the sweetest man she's ever met, which is
yeah,
like the polar of opposite of what anyone else in this town thinks of.
yeah.
So. That's all cool stuff. Now, if
The
I'm going to have to complain a little bit about the Reverend.
Oh, okay, interesting.
Not well. It's not so much that I dislike his story right now. I like that Sydney is doing whatever he can to discredit him in front of everyone. I think that's a
Yeah,
really smart thing to do. My problem with this episode with the Reverend is that after the last thing he did, after that big thing in the town where he like started shouting in front of everyone
yeah,
and all that, and how much that tarnished his image. I do think he's kind of a moron in this episode because multiple times
when
he keeps making himself look worse every
when he
single
like
chance he gets.
yeah, like when he punches him in the face.
When he punches him in the face, when he goes after the evil ginger kid, which don't get me wrong,
Yeah,
the kid's evil and ginger and deserves a good whack, but
yeah.
like this is obviously going to make you look bad. There is no way
And
the mother's just going to stand there and be like, "This is okay."
see, yeah, the weird thing is, I actually really, really like his storyline, but I like it because it's so frustrating. I definitely understand that he's going about stuff like the wrong way, but I also like that he is kind of like, fuck it. Was he say something like, how many chances do you get to punch the devil in the face? Like,
Oh, no, I love that line. That
yeah,
was a good line. Like when the sheriff asked him that, and
yeah,
he responded with that. That was a great line, and the way he kind of smirked as well as he was saying it,
yeah,
was pretty good. So no, I'll forgive that one actually because that
yeah.
was a really good line.
I do agree though. Yeah, he was like with the little kid. He was you know, being a little bit over the line. I do have a question though, and excuse me because, uh, you know, my like ADD sometimes. I might miss stuff here and there, but that little kid, is he possessed or is he just
No, he's just an awful ginger person.
okay? All right.
At least as far as we know, because he went to Sydney in the last episode, and they ended up having dinner together of all things.
Yeah, because I know he's been like hanging out with him, and he's been like a troubled kid and stuff. But I wasn't sure. Like, oh, are they trying to imply that maybe he's
I
possessed
mean,
or just like a fucking
I suppose he could be, but like, there's been no straight evidence.
definitive?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
I've just taken it as he's a shitty son who wants to be awful
really,
to people.
really piece of shit.
It really is. He's the worst.
And like, it's one thing to be kind of like a rebellious, like dark kid being like, "Hail Satan" and stuff, but like, you know, you be careful when you're doing it in a town that like Satan's actually there.
Now I realised to people watching the video, it looked like I was grasping like an invisible boob there, but I was just fixing the autofocus. That fixes it.
Okay.
But it looked like I was groping an invisible boob in front of me.
I mean, I thought it looked more like you were doing some type of Jedi Force
Oh
power
right,
thing.
okay,
But,
okay,
yeah.
sure, sure. No, so yeah, I mean, I think I liked that at the end the Reverend went to Kyle and was like, "Okay, Rook, I've been
Yeah.
making a bit of an arse of this. We have to look into this." So I like that they're together when he gets the call because it means they're together for the action,
Yeah.
next episode, and things have came back together because they've been kind of separated for the last couple of episodes. Um, so that's good. In other news, the fireman and his wife. Last week they brought up this idea that the demons might not necessarily make the people worse. Like he seemed to quite like his new version of his wife,
Oh yeah.
and
True.
uh,
Yeah, that's like an interesting way of looking at it.
yeah, it's certainly something
Yes.
I've not seen much of in like past possession stories.
Mhm.
But they clearly get to the point in this one where it's like, yeah, he was just a bit of an idiot. She's clearly still evil,
Yeah.
and this is all going to go very bad, very pear shaped.
Mhm.
And we know that they're doing something for Sydney in some sort of abandoned store or warehouse.
Something like that.
There
Yeah.
was mannequins. That's all I know. There was mannequins there.
Yeah.
So I have no idea what that is, but obviously that'll play into the finale in some way. Well,
I feel
I'm sure Megan getting possessed probably plays into it as well, whatever their plan is.
Yeah. I just feel like I don't know. I don't think anything good has ever happened in a room full of mannequins.
Um, no, probably not. No,
Uh-uh.
I can't. No, that's quite right. I can't argue with that. Is that all the plot points? I feel like that's all the main
Pretty much, yeah.
main story
Those are
beats
all the
covered.
big major stuff.
But no, I thought it was definitely a slower build, but
Mhm.
the big stuff at the end really there was a good character stuff throughout, and then the big stuff at the end really set up the finale well.
Mhm.
And I feel like because we did lose Mark, we probably won't lose any other major characters.
Mhm.
We might lose some minor ones, like I don't know, some of the
Yeah.
random townsfolk. But I don't see us losing Megan. I feel like Megan is safe to come back, but of
Mhm.
course she's going to be in a really fucked up state, given that she, just killed her husband while possessed.
Yeah, and I don't know. It'll be interesting because I'm sure that they are gonna want the show to go on as long as it can. So, I feel like if this was most shows, like if it was like a Buffy or something, this would kind of be amping up to, the season finale, have the big fight with the big bad guy, and then, you know, they're gone and you get a new bad guy next season or something. But I don't know. I feel like, a small town, kind of limited number of people, like, that might not be kind of the option. And I'm sure they'll want to keep doing stuff. So it'll be interesting to see what happens the next episode.
If I was to guess, if I was to make a prediction for how it'll bleed into season 2, which is
Mhm.
already filming, by the way,
Oh,
so
okay.
there's no chance of it not happening, like
Yeah.
because they're already shooting it. It's happening.
Mm.
I would guess that they will save Megan next episode,
Hmm.
and Sydney will probably be defeated. But whatever this thing that he's been doing all season has been building up to, whether that's bringing Satan himself, if Sydney himself is not Satan,
Yeah.
but it'll. This plan's all been to achieve something. I think they'll
Hmm.
achieve whatever that is, and that'll be
Okay.
the new threat for next season. It'll be a connection to this rather than a new thing.
That makes sense. Yeah.
That would be my guess. but I don't
Oh.
know. But no, that's Outcast, episode 9. So let us know what you think in the comments below. Like and subscribe and all that jazz. It helps us out a lot. Thank you very much for watching, guys. We will see you next time.